Ito ang mensahe ni Kris para sa first death anniversary ng kanyang kapatid na si Noy Aquino at kasama na rin dito ang tungkol sa kalagayan ng kanyang kalusugan. Dear Noy, sorry that our greeting for your first birthday in heaven is coming 5 days late. Not necessary to explain to you because you now see everything, but for the others who don't, Kuya Josh tested COVID positive June 20 Texas time. We flew here June 3 but missed his birthday because he was in LA with some really kind-hearted friends. You ever faithful Rochelle brought Bim home because she was his assigned guardian in his DSWD papers. I had over normally my pain tolerance is impressive, but this time, Bunso started sobbing. The two left for LA May 3 to wait for me, but so many times my departure had to be moved. I was sedated from Saturday, May 7 until May 11 because my pain was just so hard to endure. I do remember that I cried to Bim and said to please come home. I knew enough that they had bought the VIP tour for Disneyland for May 12 and Kuya Josh was super excited for that. I could disappoint him. Don't ask me about our flight because my BP was elevated, 167/90. When I woke up, it went down because our plane had engine problems, so I was able to drink medicine to help bring it down, and it was stable enough when we flew after lunch. But for the whole flight, including the refueling stop, I was sedated and fast asleep. It was Monday, June 5, and I had my first dose of the medicine we flew here for. I now understand, Noy, why you choose to keep your illness to yourself. My realization came because I do feel peace, and since no info will be coming from me after this post. I'm closing one area of stress that I really don't want nor welcome. But this was too much of a shock. Less than 2 days after my first 300mg dose was given, this worst of the worst vascular and urticarial flare started. It was almost a week before I somehow semi-recovered. I was the allergy clinic's first ever patient to react that way. I wish it ended there. Next, we tried cromolyn, which was supposed to help me slowly reintroduce solid food into my body. Straight to where we are right now, Noy. Obvious na obvious and favoritism, Kuya Josh tested positive for COVID on June 20. Nurse took his temperature and then they got antigen kits, tested him first because he was so unlike himself. He was just lying down on the sofa, no energy to play or watch YouTube on his phone. But I do want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all who have prayed for me to get better. By now, you know that Bunso enjoys being different. I was in our room upstairs asleep. Nurse woke me up to tell me that Kuya was positive. I honestly couldn't understand what she was trying to tell me. Until Bim came to explain and he told me to please put on a mask. He helped me go downstairs. My instinct was to go and hug Kuya, but everyone told me I needed to leave immediately and move to a hotel with Nurse and Bim because I was severely immunocompromised and being COVID positive could mean ICU for me. We had difficulty understanding each other because I was outdoors and wearing a face mask. But what frightened me was when he said, "Miss Aquino, your son will survive this. It's you and your younger asthmatic son I am more worried about. Please move elsewhere as soon as you can." It was heartbreaking to leave Kuya. I felt I was abandoning him in our time of need. That night, Nurse Christina came to our hotel and she gave all us PCR tests. The results came out midnight of the 21st. At that point, we were all still negative. This is when you know who you can really count on. Who will you love come what may. By the 23rd mid-morning, I asked Nurse Eloy to please check my temperature because I had chills and something was off. True enough, I had fever. I said to please get the antigen test kit. Nurse Eloy tried to remain calm, but in less than 5 minutes, both red lines had appeared. Kuya was already at the same hotel, so I told them to please take Bim. I was exhausted and fell asleep. When I woke up and asked how was Bim, Anne said for almost 7 hours he had just been asleep. Mother's instinct kicked in. I said, please do an antigen test on him. True enough, less than 12 hours after me, Bim was also COVID positive. You remember when Mom was told that her cancer was stage 4 and from her colon it had already spread to her liver? The doctors gave her about 3 months to live. Our mom was a fighter. She said it would be so much unfair for the 5 of us to lose her when none of us were ready. Mom gave it all she had and lasted 1 year and 5 months. 2 weeks after, I am totally COVID-free. I need Noy. Bunso has only 1 road left to open to her. Sadly for Kuya and Bim, because ultimately my 2 are the victims, I need to try rituxan. To spare everyone from having to Google and for all to understand why I'm now choosing to say goodbye for now, rituxan is an immunosuppressant in straightforward language. It is chemotherapy but also used for some complicated autoimmune cases like mine. Matagal, Noy. Definitely a test of fortitude and endurance. But before any of that, I need my existing PICC line removed and reinserted, and they need to do a NUC.